Welcome to Global War Sharks event, and I'm excited to have everyone because you guys are the ones who are raising capital and you're making changes in the world, and we are bringing you selected investors from our network to give you a chance to fundraise, and you will have 2 minutes to convince your investors to take further steps with you or not. So this is your investment opportunity, but definitely this is not your like 100% investment chance, because this is where you take next steps with investors. Because we are organizer and sponsor of this event, I'm going to show you a few slides. You are part of Global World Digital Silicon Valley ecosystem for founders, investors, and advisors, where we give access to knowledge of how to start, grow a company, access to knowledge and connections through our network, and access to opportunity to raise capital through our pitch events, through our different tools. So this is the opportunity like today to let you pitch. Now, these are the pricing plans we have. We understand that everyone has different budgets, so we try to give opportunities on every budget. And if you don't have the budget yet, you're too early, there is still some opportunity to join us. There is always a room for entrepreneurs for making a difference in the world. Now, we just launched a very important product. I encourage everyone to join this product. This is in beta right now, but you can register your profile in there. This is a matching app with startups, investors, and advisors, where you guys record 1-minute elevator pitch. Instead of pitching your investors hundreds of times, there is one pitch and investors are swiping left and right, and you're talking to only those who are interested. And so it's increasing your chances to be funded. So Lechizar will put the link in the chat, and you can register and be approved for the access. And those who are participating today, they get access for up to 3 months free. Now, this is the dashboard you will get on our platform to manage your opportunities of your startups. So you get access to perks, services, service providers, the members from around the world. You are one network where founders help founders, because this is exactly the opportunity not only we are giving you, but you give this opportunity to each other. Now, we have another program we run every 2-3 months that is called Pitch to Global Investors, where we screen and score startups and select only those who are having a chance to get raise capital. So on our website, you can apply to this program. This is free of charge program only for subscribed members, but this is your opportunity to meet top tier investors from around the world, free of charge. Now, these are the global investors, just quick list of those who participated, and there is, of course, way more of them, very serious funds, and it's your opportunity. These are global advisors we are inviting as well before you meet the investors, so they will challenge your startup and give you 1 month to address all your challenges, and if you see progress, we'll take you to the final demo day with those investors. And these are the alumni who went through the program. Half of them already raised capital, and you might be on this list as well if you follow this program. Everyone can achieve this step, but you just need to demonstrate certain criteria. We understand that not everyone can raise right away, and that's why we prepared a list of perks from our global partners. We partner directly with each of them, and these are your chance to get these services either free of charge or with very low cost, just because you are part of our network, subscribed members, and they are our partners. So these perks you may find at some other platforms, but some of them are very unique to us. And these perks are very special. Brex and Xero is just very hard to get. 600 with Brex and 50% off on Xero. It's really awesome. And because we emphasize on knowledge of how to start and grow your company, we bring speakers from around the world to help you build and grow your company. So some of the people you may see today on the panel, but these are the people giving you advice, not to inspire you, but they're giving you step-by-step things to solve specific problem you're trying to solve. And the other thing is important. We also not only a subscription platform, but we give some services to startups, so you can file taxes with us. The tax season just is finished, and so you need to report your taxes soon, so deadlines are there. And if you need accounting, we can help with that. We can open new companies. We can do 83P elections and so much more. Because you are doing elevator pitches yourself I have prepared a short video how to do an elevator pitch. It's already on Go Global World YouTube. You can throw stones at me, you can challenge me, but this is how I see you need to do the elevator pitch. And I'm trying to explain you all the steps, and I'm giving you a demonstration elevator pitch so you can try to do similar way or your own way. Now, that's it. So welcome to GGW Sharks event. This is already the 6th or the 7th event. There's so many events and all are so popular. I'm so grateful you guys coming, and so grateful to investors that you are selecting startups. Now, today's panel, we have credible panel of investors from around the world. Yuan Liu from Hypertherm Ventures, Duran Davis from M&D Ventures, Matthew Stokey, Oasis Capital, myself, and Angelica Maroon, Deutsche Swiss Asset Management from Switzerland. Lachizar, my colleague, will be moderating our session. He will be appointing people who pitch and will stop you. Myself will support him, but I will be on the panel. And if you would have any questions about the event, wherever you want, contact him directly here in the chat. He will help. So that's it on my end. And before we begin, I'm inviting investors to just quickly introduce themselves. This is what we didn't do before. And let's start from Angelica. Angelica, maybe 30 seconds for your personal intro.
Hello, everybody. I've been a hedge fund manager and an asset manager for all of my adult life. I come from the world of startup as well. In the past 12 years, I've invested in 17 startups. Right now, I hold 9 in my portfolio. I always look for interesting ideas and events such as this to improve my portfolio. Please be clear, concise, and good luck to everybody. Looking forward to hearing you.
Thank you so much. Yuan Liu, it's your turn.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I work for Hypertherm. So we are a global leader in industrial cutting, and we are a corporate VC. So I focus on deep tech companies within, industrial applications, early stages. But personally, I've always been really, a big fan of cool technologies and cool people. Like always interested in getting to know more about the different stories behind the startup. So I'm looking forward to today.
Thank you, Matthew. Your turn.
Hi, I'm Matthew Stokey. We're closing our fund over the next 10 days or so. We're going to concentrate on being industry agnostic and location agnostic, but really concentrating on the largest market opportunities. So we're looking for a total available market of at least $1 billion.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. So here's our panel for today, and I'm excited to have all of you. And the first person who will be pitching today is Maxim Nagatkov. Maxim, you ready? Maxim, please turn on your camera and your microphone if you hear.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So 2 minutes started. Please go.
Okay, hi. So my name is Maxim. I'm CEO and founder of Terrafera. It's a community-powered fashion platform. I live in Miami. It's very hard to grow a fashion business today. So fashion became very competitive, and digital marketing costs are inflating each year in double digits. So old ways of marketing, direct-to-consumer social ads, marketplaces, department stores, all these sales channels became very crowded and expensive. So premium independent brands spend today 35 to 60% of their retail revenue for these sales channels. And we believe in a new way of doing fashion marketing. So we believe that converting consumers into prosumers, so people participating in the process of creation, is the solution. So Terrafera is a platform that allows fashion designers and brands to tap into the power of community through crowdsourcing and early pre-sales. So our model allows prosumers to not only engage with the world of fashion, but also earn alongside their favorite designers as co-creators, investors, and ambassadors. So we believe that our tools will increase designers' revenue by 10% and will shift 35% of their sales to on-demand production, reducing logistics costs, cash cycle, and returns. So we take 10% of revenue for collections created on Terraferra. So our go-to-market strategy is very similar to Patreon. So we expect designers and brands to bring 5% of their most active audience to our platform. So we built MVP and currently are at the private beta stage. So myself, I built 3 unicorns in retail in my career and worked for the last couple of years with fashion designer in US. And in 2021, we faced like 50% rising costs for marketing after Apple privacy policy. And so I decided to find better way to promote emerging fashion designers.
Can you wrap up, Maxim? Your time is almost off.
Yeah, to let more people to earn doing what they love to do. So we're raising 3 million.
Okay, thank you. So next one should be Khalil. Khalil, are you here? I saw that you were in the list.
Yes, I'm here.
Wait a second, we have questions.
Oh, sorry, pardon. Yes, we have questions from our investors.
Okay.
So, Maxim, how's it going? So,
Hi.
if I understand this correctly, you're tapping into the pre-sales before the actual item is sold. So, is this a scenario by which it's similar to that of the crowdfunding platform, but you're going to take a portion of the pre-sale revenues?
So it's similar to crowdfunding platform, but different in a way that we start pre-sales earlier than the prototype is ready. So we gamify pre-sales and start them earlier because people participate in co-creation process. So it's crowdfunding, but at the earlier stage.
Okay, so it's my understanding now is it seems as if there could possibly be some form of a conflict of interest. If I'm on the platform and my goal is to invest in this particular idea or invest in this group of individuals, how do you differentiate me as an investor opposed to an individual that wants to be a part of the creation process? How do you determine which side of the ledger that your company sits on as far as which individuals to serve or satisfy?
So we serve superfans, and superfans can participate in different roles. So some of them can co-create together, some of them can participate in pre-sales, some of them can invest in the collection. So they can take different roles on the platform. But the whole principle is to engage them in a better way through revenue sharing and gamification than they can do on Instagram today.
Okay, lastly, really quick. You said that you're raising $3 million. What's the pre-money or post-money on that raise? And your initial platform, is it going to be a mobile app or a website client?
So it's mobile app because like more than 70% of fashion sales go for mobile today.
The raise is
the raise. So we do rolling raise, 3 million in total. So we close in 2 parts. So we close 1 million first and 2 million next.
What's the value?
Between 10 and 20.
No. So 10 and 20 is a big difference. That's close to a 50% increase. Like, what's the exact number?
First million 10, second 2 million 20.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Are there more questions?
Yeah. What's your current annual recurring revenue?
So we are at private beta stage right now. So we are testing the product. So no revenue yet.
More questions? Okay, so we have a founder with 3 unicorns in the past, and he's in beta stage and raising $3 million in revenue. No more questions, I guess, right? Thank you, Maxim. Excited to have you, and let's move on. Appreciate that.
Yep, let's move with Khalil. I already introduced him. Khalil Solchuk, he's part of Go Global World now. Khalil, sorry for that. It's your turn.
No problem. Yes. Hi, guys. Hi, Duran, Maya, everyone. Good to see you again. So all the sharks, thank you for the opportunity. Looking forward to receiving feedbacks. So Cordes, we believe in giving social impact in human development a new destination. To talk about, to connecting communities, to talk about well-being, arts, music, quality education, and sports. Right now, we believe social networks are so huge and impersonal. The influencers have a hard time, developing their tools and making money through the features they need. Corners is a decentralized social network focused on social impact and human development. Using Web3 technology and blockchain, we give influencers a very high definition community-based app to manage their communities. We have a very concise team. I was a former professional wakeboarder, state champion. I have a master's in business administration. My co-founder and CTO, Gabriel, he's 15 plus year in tech business. He worked in the Century as a tech leader. So we have a very unique team of founders. We are pre-revenue. We have the app running for iOS and Android. We have a growing 25% month over month. We have reached around 1,000 users on the beta app. And right now we're raising $500,000 in a 2.7 million pre-money valuation, and looking forward to receive feedbacks from you guys. Matthew, I believe you can give us some great advice. You guys have invested in Twitter, Facebook, and a lot of great marketplaces that have grown a lot. So you probably have a great feedback for us to build the atomic network. Angelica, you as well. I know you believe have great connections. And Duran, as we've been talking, the guys at GGW have connected us. So looking forward to talk to you and Maya about how we can, improve the business and keep growing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Any feedback from our panel?
Yeah, Khalil, wondering if you could help me understand what exactly your platform does better, because at the beginning I heard a lot of buzzwords, but it sounds very big, and then you moved on to your team. So could you just explain a little bit more?
Yes, talking to influencers, every social network has a Pareto, right? So when you talk about Instagram, for example, 20% of the accounts generate 80% of the content. So talking to those influencers on social impact and human development, we try to understand what was their pain and what they need to do in order to, do their task list. And for example, an influencer, he has a group of followers on WhatsApp, Telegram. He has his Instagram account. He uses Zoom. He uses Eventbrite and a bunch of other tools to do a simple. What is his task list? He needs to distribute content. He needs to manage his audience. He needs to receive money, and he needs to live events, for example. So we're bringing these key features inside the Corners to the influencers in order so he can manage his communities. And from the user side, he doesn't need to use a bunch of tools and try to, keep up with all the information, because right now we're hyper connected. But I know you guys have thousands, maybe hundreds of groups on Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, and other, but we can't keep it up with everything. So Corners brings everything in one place so users can, manage their communities. Was I able to answer your question?
Yeah, that was very helpful. It sounds like those are features other social medias are also offering, though, right? Like, so what exactly makes what exactly is different here?
Correct. Basically, I agree with you. And one of the main features that Corners has is the decentralization part. So everything is built on top of a blockchain, right? We're using Ethereum, and all the content, for example, is stored using IPFS. So it's not stored in our server. It's all decentralized. So Corners, it's owned by everybody and nobody at the same time, So it's an influencer social app owned. So this is one of the biggest difference, and that's how we believe we can win the race on the long term, regarding Instagram and other big social networks. We don't want to fight with them, they're doing good on their own, and we're looking forward to the decentralized part of the social impact and human development.
Elio, I think that if you think of the questions that you have been asked, I think that the first feedback I would like to offer you is, first of all, it's an interesting idea. The differentiating factor of the blockchain is quite important. Please work on your pitch so that when you pitch to investors, we can understand right away how you add value, how you can grow, and how we can all make money. So please work on that. Get a structure going, pick up a Sequoia, any structure that works, and come back and pitch to us, all right?
Awesome. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, really quick. So what's going to happen with the $500,000? Why do you need to have $1 million for this?
All right, so great question, Duran. Our go-to-market strategy is to partnership with celebrities, you know. So keeping in mind a CAC of $5, for example, and a lifetime value of 25, we're looking forward to invest on those partnerships to grow the business, you know.
Wait. So bad idea. Cancel that. And the reason I'm saying this because my wife has already emphasized to me she's interested in investing in this thing. $500,000 is too much money. And you are muting. You said you're going to do that at a $2.7 million pre. So you're muting a post-money valuation of about $3.2 million, which means that I have to believe that you can get to a Series A of $3.2 million for me to even possibly make any money. And then you have to be able to justify that $1 million and then grow again for me to be able to exit at a reputable exit. What I would suggest to you is you get in touch because I definitely want to figure out how we can get the conversation.
Sorry, Duran. I lost a little bit. Can you repeat, please?
It's fine. So, yeah, get in touch with Danielle and see how we can take this conversation offline. $500,000 is too much money. If I gave you $500,000, I would have 150% of the business. And it's a lot of things that you can do on the side of your platform. And here's the last thing. So what's happening in the social world, you're correct. There are going to be these micro communities, aside from Mark Zuckerberg talked about this before, the public town hall and the private side of social media. And that's what I see this inside of that genre, the private side of social media. The high school app ads just sold to Discord. So that was incredible. They were only out for 9 months. So they parsed through a very niche environment, which is high school, where you can parse through a niche environment such as well-being and community. And that's what the platform is for. When I look at the app and I see a home feed is not necessary. You shouldn't worry about aggregating content on the front end. You should get people directly to a community inside of the app. So when I come to your app, I think less about your platform, more about the community that I'm actually coming to. And perhaps you can actually get this thing sold to another platform. Lastly, another idea could be that you can have a keyboard for this particular community that jump started. So I would have met with you and said, hey, let's not launch your app first. Let's launch a keyboard for your app to sit inside of another platform as a distribution strategy. And then you can build a community from there. And once you gain interest, we can utilize that to actually launch out the platform. So it's a lot of things you can do instead of asking for $500,000. Because again, I want to be like friendly to entrepreneurs. I sit on that side of the ledger as well. And I would have to own 250% of your business.
All right, thank you so much, Khalil. Just the other question is from me, but please don't answer.
Oh, I got one too. For me, there just isn't enough differentiator between you and some of the other big sites. I mean, the decentralized nature of it is great, but that's not much of a needle mover, and it's not going to kind of win you over a bunch of customers when they already are entrenched in somewhere else. So I would work on trying to figure out a better differentiator between you and some of the other social media networks.
Yeah, I would think that. I think, yeah, because I would suggest kind of, honing in more on the unique value proposition, because right now it sounds kind of vague and you need to be more like specific what exactly you're kind of making things like, better.
Okay.
Yeah, but the sell is him. He reminds me of John Legere of T-Mobile. Like the sell is really him, because the reality of it is when Brian Chesky and they launched Airbnb, everybody told them no. It was like, how the fuck are people going to stay in someone's home? They literally sold Obama O's, which was a scam. I'm surprised those didn't sue them. And Captain McCain's, and they raised they sold $36,000 of that. And then where it sold it. As human beings, we like to see patterns. We like to believe that we're very smarter than what we are. So it's always post perspective. Like, oh, Google's not going to work. And then when it works, everybody's a genius and thought it was going to work. So when I'm thinking about your platform, I'm thinking less about comparing you to other social media platforms. Perhaps because I'm a software engineer and I build these things, it's you that we have to get in front. With your face being on camera, with that energy, you can actually sell this thing and then it can be sold to someone else. Because I don't think it's not relevant to compare you to other individuals, because Airbnb was compared to hotels and look where they are today. So yeah, let's just talk offline about that.
I love this conversation. Thank you so much. We gotta move on, but it's a small comment. First of all, sometimes it happens that investors are taking more time on commenting on things because they see potential, they want to help, either challenge you more or help you. So it's normal investors are taking time. We don't control it. We want to give everyone a chance because this feedback is super valuable and can turn into millions of dollars for you. So that's why we don't stop investors. But investors all know that they also want to be sure because they want to give more time to others as well. Now, on my end, I want to say that we will accept you to our pitch to global investors. If you already applied or so, just make sure you be there. That's some promise on my end because I also see some potential in your project. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Just one second. Duran, then you already connected us offline on email. So just I don't know, you received tons of emails. So just check on us. And if you didn't, I'm gonna send my email on the group chat right here.
So really quick before you move on, it's important to make the connection through Daniil because the whole idea of the GGW Sharks is for there to be a collaboration between GGW and the investors. So it's great that you guys connect with us offline on LinkedIn just for casual conversation. But if we're going to get
I'm saying he sent then you send an intro email for both of us.
We will make sure you guys connect. Yeah. Let's move on. It's taking time. We already got a lot of time, and we appreciate it.
Let's move on. Edmund Cape. Edmund, are you here? Edmund is another GGW member. So
I am indeed. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, perfect. Wonderful. Well, thank you for the opportunity. So massive investments in IT and data pipelines have created a problem for the analysts and management consultants. These are the folks that are charged with completing analysis using the data. Before anyone can get started on the analysis, the analyst is expected to process large amounts of ad hoc data. I would literally be up hours into the morning working on the data to get it just right so that we could get started with what everyone cared about most, which was the analysis. There are millions of management consultants and analysts that have new projects every month, many of which require analysis to be completed same or next day. The ad hoc nature of the project and data often grind the analysis to a halt, causing days, if not weeks, of delays. The problem is the analysts don't have the right tools. Involving IT is a money-losing proposition by definition of the ad hoc nature of the data. The current software tools are either too complicated, insufficient, or completely miss the point. There's an estimated $3.4 billion market here. To succeed where others have failed, we took a unique approach. I'm an experienced management consultant and analyst turned software engineer. No compromise is required to reduce operational risk between design intent and implementation. We maintained a low operating cost for the years it took to implement a user experience that just makes sense. The solution is an open, extensible cloud-native platform that works with any structured data. It generates analyst-ready data using a hyper-efficient, analyst-centric, three-step workflow that gets the job done in minutes, not hours or days. Early feedback indicates that we have a technology that empowers the analyst like no other product on the market today.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And my question to you would be first of all, feedback for everyone. Please try to avoid reading so we can see it, and it's really important that you will gain more trust from investors just on that. It's not that you're doing something bad or something, but it just please make sure for the future we are trying to help, and this feedback is part of the deal. And my question to you: why you are the best team for this project?
I think ultimately the proof is in the pudding in terms of anyone can claim to have this solution, but did they actually accomplish it? And that comes from a deep understanding of the problem and a capability to ultimately execute. We have a mathematically validated rules engine behind all of this that no one's ever thought of or done before. So I think that's just that's ultimately the proof right there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions from our panelists?
How do you determine which data points you're using for your analytics?
Tell me what you mean by that. Tell me more about what you mean there.
Like the data points that you would use for like the space vertical would be completely different than for a data points for like a shipping company. So how do you know that you're using the right data points to generate your analysis?
Okay, so this when it comes time to, first of all, it's a generic solution for anyone who needs to use data for analysis. Okay, and that actually means something very special, where anytime you go from event logs, which is essentially what all raw data looks like. Okay, they're event logs, and you convert that into any kind of analysis, which might mean something like what were the average sales last year? Okay, to be able to properly construct what that answer is going to be, you're ultimately creating a subject universe that can be mathematically validated. And so, for instance, what do you do with your null values? What exactly? What time period exactly are we talking about? What is a new customer? All of these types of business rules need to be applied consistently. And what's really fascinating about all of this is that once you know that you're doing this for this analysis, the solution set is reduced tremendously. What that means is that you no longer have to have the user answer a whole bunch of questions or go through these useless, long-winded workflows that all other solutions have you go through in order to get that perfect single table that's going to inform your pivot table or whatever analysis you want to feed. I hope that answers the question. So it's a generically applicable approach specifically for consuming data for purposes of an analysis, which means very, very specific things.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions before we move on?
Yes. Yeah, Edmund. So I saw that. We both came out of SOM. Yeah. So I used to be management consultant in my previous lifetime, but so this sounds very interesting to me. So I guess my question is, how does it work with times when there's data coming from different sources with different kind of formats and stuff like that? Like how do you is that something you could address by streamlining the structure in the data in a consistent way? Is that something you're dealing with right now?
So let me how do you deal with different formats of data coming in? I think was essentially the question, right? When it comes time to, the management consultant is this isn't raw data coming from anywhere. This is usually coming from a highly curated source, right? And so the data itself is actually wonderful data, but the problem is, for instance, a single data source might actually have multiple information sets. And we're very efficient at identifying what those information sets are. That's kind of layer one. Layer two is that these different data sources at this point need to have one thing in common, which is they share a unique ID to identify your subject. Okay, and so that simplifies so much of the process, because we get to go in with that assumption. Where you avoid then all of the logic associated with relational data. Relational databases are great for recording data and recording transactions, but that isn't what we do here. Analysts don't do that. We consume large volumes of data. We don't actually care about the individual values. And so once you start to recognize that and you can't care about individual values because you have millions of records. And so how do you think then about the data holistically that way? And that's what gets us to where we want to go really fast. And so there's just an ingoing assumption and understanding of what the task is that is universally true, and that jumpstarts the whole process and gets the analyst thinking the way they need to be thinking. The future is this. The future is every management consulting and analyst has Excel. Right? There's a little bit of a learning curve to Excel. Why? Because it's just a really powerful tool. How else would you go about it? To solve the types of problems you want to solve. Similarly with us, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but how else would you go about it? It turns out that fields can only be certain types of fields that they can compose.
Sorry for interrupting, Edmund. Sorry for interrupting, but yeah, we have to move on.
Long-winded answer. I apologize.
No
but
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to follow up and see how it could be helpful.
We can connect
Perfect.
if you guys want. Just Johan, if you decide, just let me know.
Yep. And I made it. So we move with Pavel Valentov. Pavel, are you here?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pavel, are you here?
Guys, hello. Today I'm without my pitching. That's why just continue without.
Okay. So yeah, if you are not ready, we're gonna move with David Mead. David, are you ready then? David.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's your turn.
Great, thanks. Hi, I'm David Mead, the CEO of Terra Bioworks, and I sold my previous company, Lucigen, for 70 million 5 years ago. And I also developed a biology reagent at the beginning of my career that sold nearly $1 billion of product. Terra Bioworks has pioneered the synthetic biology platform that is 100 times faster and more precise than the old school pharma methods to discover and manufacture bioactive natural products that are beneficial to humans, plants, and animals. We can dramatically reduce manufacturing costs of existing drugs. These are natural product microbial types of drugs, and discover new ones faster. We have strong IP revenues, and we're looking to raise $3 million in a Series A round at a $10 million valuation. We are only one of 2 companies worldwide with these SynBio capabilities, and we are the only one addressing near-term drug production problems, which is significantly faster and more affordable timeline to revenues. The go-to-market strategy is to reduce the cost of goods for a couple of really expensive drugs, such as cyclosporin or plitepsin, saving $1 billion in manufacturing costs. Terra Bioworks will establish new gene-based manufacturing IP worth hundreds of millions of dollars for one compound, and we could obviously do it for more than one. And one licensing deal could be worth $100 million in revenue per year. And the exit strategy is an acquisition for $250 million or more. And we just discovered digital marketing over the last 2 months. I'm proud to report through LinkedIn that we are actively talking to Novartis, BASF, Elanco, and Valent because of those outreach activities. So I think our revenues as a CRO could go up very nicely this year. That's my story. Thanks.
Thank you. Any questions from the panel?
Yeah, I'll take a shot at it. You mentioned that you sold one of your businesses, I believe that you said north of 50 million, then another one north of $1 billion.
No, I've only sold one business, Lucigen, for 70 million 5 years ago.
Got it. And you're raising $3 million now for roughly 30% of equity distribution, because that mutes a $10 million post-money valuation.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Did you take any of their capital and invest in the business thus far?
Yes, I have, of course. Quite a lot. And I'm not taking a salary either. So I've got a fair amount of skin in the game.
Got it. And then you mentioned that you're interested in possibly exiting at the $250 million exit. Is your thinking that, just give me a bit of your financial plan with this $3 million? Because as far as I'm concerned, if this is placing a $10 million valuation on the company, what's your thinking as far as your pathway to that exit?
Sure. So there's 3 things that we're going to move to market, and we'll IP them, all 3 of them, probably within a year to year and a half of obtaining the funds. And then we'll actively pursue partners to license these things. We think we'll even potentially break even with one of these things within a year or so. And if we're right, one of these compounds could save 2 of them actually could save about $1 billion in manufacturing costs. And the guidelines are that is worth 10 to 20% in royalties a year for that sort of cost savings. And based on just one of those events and the multipliers, we could have a 2.5 to 5x acquisition event after one of those licensing deals.
Okay, so next question. That's a very, very good answer. As far as the intellectual property, you have a design patent, utility patent, and if you have been granted a patent, can you talk to me a bit about some of your strongest claims, just to get some specificity on the patent itself?
Yeah, so we have 2 patents right now that are kind of foundational. One is for a drug production technology. Another one is for drug discovery technology. One is a hardcore biochemical thing. One of them is a software-like thing. And we have 2 more in the queue for prosecution. So those are good foundational things to have. But the real IP is going to be the manufacturing of these new, these old compounds to make them more affordable. We can patent the sequences and the wherewithal to overexpress them and make them.
That we can. So you haven't started this patent yet, the one that you're speaking about?
No, sir. That's what we're raising the funds for.
Okay, so my question, really quickly, if you can answer it quick, I wanted you to specify what some of the strong claims that you actually mentioned, because quite oftentimes when I hear entrepreneurs,
we've done this 134 times for 24 customers all over the world. We're really good at what we're doing. That's way better than the claim.
Beyond what you're saying, focus on my question. So when I'm asking you, in your patent, I say, so we have a patent, that's fine. What were some of the claims that you mentioned in the patent? Because that's the important part of the patent. And which one of those claims you think is strong enough to lead towards that acquisition buy?
So that's a really long, technical, detailed question. I'm not sure how to say that really short and fast. I'll work on that. We have a composition of matter for capturing and overexpressing natural product drugs is one of them. We have composition of matter for metabologenomics of small molecule compounds. Let's say if you do this and that to find and discover a compound, we own that capability. Or if you do this and that to overproduce this compound, we own that capability.
Yeah, that was a good answer. Thank you.
Appreciate I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to, without getting into gory details. That's a hard one. Thanks.
Yeah.
Different investors, different perspectives.
Yeah.
So
no, I get it.
We have some more questions from investors, and we got to move on to let others to pitch. But Duran, it's very hard to hear you. I don't know why. It just was barely possible to hear you. Just be aware of that. I don't know why. Angelica,
better?
Johan, you guys have questions?
Janil, is that better? Is that better, Janil?
Yep.
No.
Yep. Actually, a bit better. A bit.
Let's. Do you guys have any more questions, or we move on?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Appreciate that.
Okay, let's move to Holger Bartel. Holger, are you ready to pitch?
Hi, Lachitar. I am. Hi, everybody. So it's Holger. I'm a serial entrepreneur, having startups in online marketing and blockchain, and now it's artificial intelligence. So I'm talking about RealRate, the AI-based rating agency. And well, there's a background story. So when I was working as an appointed actuary in a big German insurance group, I was responsible to talking to the rating agencies. One day, our big boss joined, telling them, listen, I'm expecting you to give me a AAA rating. If not, well, there are plenty of other rating agencies out there. And that was the moment I really understood the rating won't be fair, but totally biased instead. It's like a pupil would pay his teacher in order to give him a grade. And this is how a $10 billion industry works. So I quit a well-paid job, started RealRate, and what we do is we create financial strength ratings of companies reading in annual report data and using AI. In addition, AI is not a black box, but you get a nice colored graph. So you see the strengths and weaknesses within 2 minutes without having to read like 200 pages of a business report. We have a B2B business model. We are selling rating seals and financial data we analyzed. We had a product market test here in Germany, where I am right now, 30,000 revenues. Since more than 1 year, we are a US Delaware C Corp, and we are raising 1 million at a 5 million valuation post money. We've already been with Startup Bootcamp and New Chip, and I would like to raise this year again. The idea is to use the money for sales and marketing because the technology is already working fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the panel, from the sharks?
Holger, I'm going to go with a question since we are on the same continent. I feel that I have some skin in the game here. Artificial intelligence is being embedded in a number of different rating forms. What is your competitive advantage as compared to what other people may be able to do with your same experience and wherewithal.
Yeah. So we have a quite different approach. Normally, you're talking about deep neural networks, but working with annual report data, we have one annual report a year. Unlike if you have self-driving cars getting thousands sensor data every second. So we impose, it is indeed an expert system. We impose structure, and this structure helps us to make the answers explainable afterwards. So it's explainability by design. And we won the PyTorch AI hackathon in the fair AI category, being one of 2,500 competitors. So that's our secret sauce here.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. And I think that, do we have any more questions? But please be really quick because we have 1 hour or more, so we have to fit a bit more people.
Not a question, but if investors would want to connect with you, they will let me know, and definitely we will connect you as we did it last time, because you pitched already times, and so yeah.
Okay.
I guess we can move on.
I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let's see if anybody else from our members are here. I think I don't see anybody else. Let's move to John Carrieri, if John is here. But I didn't see him actually in the list. So let's go with Mike Skura. Mike Skura is next, one of the people that are next in the list. Mike, are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go. TourTrader Pro is a technology and entertainment company that's changing the way the world bets on sports. Sports, and in particular sports betting, is popular forms of entertainment on the planet. The problem is the business of sports betting has not changed in decades. There are only two ways of wagering on sports. One is a traditional bet with a sports book, and the other is a daily fantasy entry. Both are binary transactions, meaning you either win or lose a set amount of companies out there offering the same basic product, and the only way to differentiate themselves is one, to take extra risk by setting more favorable odds or provide costly cash incentives to bring people onto the platform. By changing the way a traditional sportsbook makes money and eliminating the binary nature of a sports bet, TourTrader Pro created an entire new business of a sports exchange where you can buy and sell the performance of professional athletes like you do stocks in the market. We built a platform that's incredibly intuitive and easy to use. It's 3 clicks from download to placing your first trade, maximizing fan engagement and time on the platform. We built a live free-to-play version. It's been performing since March of last year, averaging 17,000 trades and over $3.5 million in trading volume. We have a database of over 30,000 prospective users and a world-class distribution strategy. We're 2 months away from live money trading in US, UK, and Australia. The structure of the game is patent pending. We just announced a strategic partnership with a top VC in the gaming industry, which has significantly accelerated our go-to-market. And that's why I'm here. We have 250,000 in the bank. We've got 750 in Soft Circle, and we're raising up to 2.5 million on a 10 million pre-money valuation. In 6 months, we'll be raising 8 on 40. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the panel?
Yeah, so how do you remove the binary nature of the bet? Is it just going to be like win, lose, push, or how do you kind of figure that out?
Yeah, that's the magic, right? So what we did was we created a futures contract on the performance of professional athletes. So it's basically an equivalent to an options market.
Any other questions? If not, we should move on.
How do you work with different kind of regulations, I guess, across different states, right? Because sports betting is not legal everywhere yet, right? So do you see has there been some obstacles there, like getting customers, and to kind of explain that to the
Yeah, no obstacles on the regulatory front. It's basically just money and paperwork, and you have to do it state by state in the US. Our distribution strategy is B2B. So we're not actually looking to become a sports book or a casino. All we need is a simple supplier's license to be able to operate with companies like WinBet and other major sports books in the US and access their user base. And then in the UK, Australia, and Canada, we're actually deemed a financial product. So we don't need a sports betting license at all. It's called a spread bet, which is regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. So it's going to be a B2C in Europe and Australia, and then a B2B product here in the US.
So talk to me a bit about your revenue model. How does your business model play into your revenue model? And what's your take on the revenue model?
So we're completely different than a traditional sports book, right? The way we make money is we take 1% of every transaction on the platform. So for us, volatility and frequency is key to making money. There's trading going on between market makers and peer-to-peer, and all we're doing is taking 1% of every buy and every sell. Ultimately, we make 6.6% of every dollar on the platform.
You're on iOS currently. I just downloaded the app. Cool logo, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. We actually did a little rebranding, so it's getting a facelift.
Yeah. So the logo makes me feel like what you're selling. Does Apple take a percentage of your 1% as well?
So Apple will be taking a percentage of that, but we also have a web-based version that we'll be pushing folks to. And so in the US, we're actually going to be living on the platforms of the sports books. So what you'll do is you'll go to the WinBet platform, you'll click on golf, and then you'll come to Tour Trader Pro and start trading. And us and WinBet are going to have a rev share system set up where basically we take a piece of everything that comes onto the platform.
Got it. So it appears now that your revenue is variable. Do you anticipate a future where you're going to possibly have any fixed revenue as far as a subscription is concerned? And the second part to the question, what's your primary metric? Is it gross merchandise transactions, gross merchandise value? What's your primary metric that you measure regarding your revenue?
So the primary metric is trading volume. That's the amount of dollars traded on the platform. That's the primary metric because that's the key revenue driver. And then in terms of subscriptions, I think eventually what we're going to do as we progress through the evolution of the platform, we're going to go into a premium version, just like regular brokerage platforms do, where you get access to more information and data, and then also institutional trading. So there's an entire evolution of this that we basically play off of the financial services industry.
Okay, thank you. I'm interested.
Thank you very much.
We will connect you afterwards. All right. More questions? All right, let's move on. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move to Vitaly from DeskMe. Vitaly, are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go for it.
Right. Yeah, so I'm Vitaly, founder of DeskMe from Finland, and we are solving the problem that many companies are experiencing in their office with this remote work era. It actually started way before COVID, but COVID has accelerated this, what was happening anyway. So if you look at average company office, especially like in IT and technology segment, in the middle of the day, there's like maybe 20-30% occupancy rate. It's like normal. And that means offices are greatly underutilized. And obvious solution to that is switch to desk sharing and then scale down the office. Sometimes it's remodeled to have more space between desks, have more meeting rooms, and so on. But the point is that you'll have more employees than desks. That's a very common solution. We make it very easy by visualizing your office on a 3D map and making every desk visible in real time, which one is free, which one is occupied by someone and by whom. So it also brings up a new communication layer, which can be a purpose to implement DeskMe of its own, just to know who is in the office on which day. So yeah, we have already, we started already some years ago before COVID as a side project, and it's been getting more traction. Now we have about 5,000 monthly recurring revenue. It's a subscription. We have customers already in like 15 countries. Most of them are here in Finland. There are some high-profile customers like Trimble and Ivan, these unicorn companies, and we realized that now is the time for scaling, because we were so far like doing it word of mouth and so on. Now almost everybody we're talking to say, okay, we need that. So so everybody tells you should, like, people should know about you. So that's why we are considering raising now $500,000 round at 5 million pre-money valuation. That's in euros, but about the same in US dollars. And yeah, I'm very happy to hear. We haven't raised before. We've just been bootstrapping. So I'm happy to get any advice you might have.
Thank you. Time's up. All right. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Any questions, feedback from the Sharks?
I have a quick question. So you mentioned you started before, you know, things haven't started, like, you know, it started before COVID, right? So like, so over more than 2 years now. So how did you get to today's point, like, you know, with a $5,000 recurring revenue? So what was that journey like?
Oh, it was, as I mentioned, it was like a side project, and we still sort of get money from somewhere else. We have a team of 4 people. We have actually one guy on the team who maybe some of you know. It's Peter Westerback. He's famous for Angry Birds, this Rovio game. So he made a successful exit there. He's one of our founders, or four founders and owners. Anyway, that we have been basically just putting all our free time into it, and getting traction with some early customers who were like very close to us, and they were getting feedback, and then somebody else learned about it from the network. So we weren't really scaling it, but more like working on like, how to say, like reactive mode. But now like customers that we have, they really like the experience. They like Trimble guys even made a success story video where they say 3 times that why they like it is because of ease of use, and everybody says that, oh, if more people just knew about you, you would be already in more places. So we basically have to solve the PR asking marketing question. We even launched the website just recently after years of operations, so it wasn't really a big priority. But now it seems like everybody needs this. Every company we touch, they say that, okay, this is relevant. And I know there is also a lot of new competition. Like maybe, you know, Envoy is the closest we have found from Silicon Valley. But we
please try to be concise with your answer. It's really important. Otherwise,
yeah, we have something special. I think there's also room for more than one great solution on the market, and I think that we have something that no other competitor has. So yeah.
Thank you.
So it's my research showed that you started this around 2017, and what I'm getting from you is that you treated it in a more casual format, where it was a side project. It also showed me that you're a data partner at a company, in addition to a founder at an IT solutions company. So I give you $500,000 in your business. Like, which one do you focus on? Like, am I investing in you as the person, as the idea guy, the creative guy that's always going to come out with different ideas? Where's your focus regarding Destiny? Because again, based on my research, it appears as if it's been in existence for 6 years now.
Mm. Well, that's what we want to do. We want to make it happen, to prioritize on Destiny and scale it, because that was not what we've been doing. Like, it was not a priority. It was quality over quantity, and now we believe that we can scale because of the technology.
Got it. So why haven't you guys reached out to office managers on LinkedIn and say, hey, we have this cool technology that we can institute inside of your organization. We're going to allow you all to utilize it. Pardon me. Allow you all to utilize it for free for 2 months, and just let us know what you think. Have you all reached out, done some type of outreach to on LinkedIn, which is a very critical place where you can find these type of customers to validate your idea, in addition to convince you to go full throttle with it before asking for $500,000?
Well, maybe that's the reason that we have, all of us have several hats, and maybe that's the round can allow us to concentrate on it, and then like we have more time for doing like well, even
yeah, that doesn't sound a bit promising as an investor. And that doesn't sound a bit promising as an investor. I would suggest that you all reach out to these office managers on LinkedIn, convince them to utilize your product for about 30 days for free to test it out, to actually see if there's some efficacy there. Take that data and then return to investors and talk to them then.
Well, I mean, like there's only like 30 different organizations who are using it and paying for it, and I'm very happy.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. Let's move.
Just quick feedback. Just make sure to prepare for the pitch. This one was a little bit general, and it feels like you didn't test your market, so that's why so many very lots of feedback. And my struggle was that I didn't even hear. Did you know about Zoom doing the same thing, and how would you differentiate yourself from Zoom, the big corporation? So it's like you tough competition in this space. So do your homework. Seems like very interesting project, but do your homework. Come back next time. Maybe you get a chance. But these questions will be tougher next time. Just make sure to get prepared for this.
Thank you. Okay, so Inara Kadirova is the next one. Inara, are you ready?
Yep. Hi. Okay, my name is Nara, and today I'd like to introduce you to Move On. But first, I want you to think back to the time when you've ever participated in any kind of sports event. So have you ever given a thought to how much effort it actually takes to organize one? In fact, it takes a lot of effort. And even today, sports events industry is facing a major problem with manual registration and lack of data-driven insights. So keeping that in mind, we wanted to introduce a solution that would automate the participant registration and provide valuable analytics to sports events organizers, as well as use AI to automate some other manual processes that sports events organizers have to go through. And all that results in increased efficiency, and profitability. So in fact, a sports events organizer can save around $2,000 per one event. So in order to reach the goal of increased efficiency and profitability, we wanted to introduce two products. So one of them is a web administrator for sports events organizers, and another one is a mobile application, both iOS and Android, which is for participants. So participants can go to their application and see any kind of sports events that are being held in their town, or any other city they want to participate in. So they basically can find any of the events they're interested in, they can register for it, and receive any sort of notifications from the organizers and things like that. So we're currently at the minimal marketable release stage, and we're seeking investments to accelerate product development and expand our sales and marketing efforts. So that's a brief overview of what we are and what we do. So if there are any questions, I would be happy to answer. Thank you.
Yeah, how do you make money? Are you charging the leagues themselves or the players?
So we have a subscription-based business model. So we charge the sports events organizers only. It is a $40 monthly subscription. So yeah.
Inara, I've been a professional athlete and I'm still very, very active. I have not done a manual registration in 35 years. So I don't know what your market you're looking at, but have you researched the field? There are, if you go on sports registration on the web, on the Google, you find something like 20,000 results. Tell me why you're different and who your competition would be. It looks like a very crowded space already.
Okay, so one of the competitors is the RegPack, if you heard of this. So it's also is a similar one, but what is different is that we provide an application for the participants. So basically they can find any sort of event there and they can register in that application. So they don't have to go to any kind of like Google Forms or anything like that. It's all in the application. So it saves time on like searching for the website of the organizer and looking for the link to the registration. So it's only in one place. That's how it's different. So it's one place kind of solution thing.
and you have had interest in this. I mean, you know that people are looking for this solution for a fact.
Yeah, we've done CusTef, and we as a person who's also interested in sports generally, and participate in this kind of events, I know for sure. So, and for example, if we're looking at the market in which we want to release the product first, so it's CIS market. So that's the problem here. And we think that further as well, I mean, I've participated in sports events in the States as well, and I've went through the stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to our next presenter because we are very limited on time. Next presenter will be Dejan Nenov. Dejan, are you here and are you ready?
Yes, I'm here and I hope I'm ready. I will pitch today a company called Luventix that we are restarting after a few years of experimentation. We're a computational medical diagnostic company. Our test determined the probability that a person has a disease or is likely to develop a disease. When you become sick, your organism changes, which leads to changes in your metabolic profile. That change is expressed as molecules in your urine. We use gas chromatography to create a digital twin of the patient using their metabolic profile data. And then our proprietary nonlinear machine learning and analytical computational methods allow us to develop tests to predict or to determine whether there is a disease present. With our technology, a single urine sample is sufficient to screen a person for multiple diseases. The total addressable market in the US is some portion of the 1 billion medical tests that are performed every month, with an average price of over $50 a test. So half percent of market share equates to about $3 billion in annual revenue. Our current average selling price based on our cost models, we estimate about a 300% gross margin per test. We also offer subscription opportunities for a household to subscribe to our diagnostic service that can be used as preventive medicine on an annual basis. Again, numbers, there's about 19 million US households that have an average income of over $150,000 a year. That would be our target market. $1,000 annual family subscription, a 5% market penetration equates to about $1 billion of ARR. So again, like in most things in healthcare, a successful entry to the market has a very large upside. Our go-to-market is through direct-to-consumer online channels, bringing the test product to market as lab-developed tests that do not require FDA approval. The estimated cost of new customer acquisition is under $50. We are confident of approximately 90% retention and existing customer repeat test order frequency of 6 to 18 months. This is based on actual data, CAC data from Vitagene.com that runs on the One Health IO platform. I happen to be the CTO of One Health IO, so the access to this data is legitimate.
Can you wrap up? Sorry for interrupting. Can you wrap up because we are short on time?
Absolutely. Basically, we have developed 2 prototype tests, one for cancer, one for bladder, 95% accuracy, as well as sensitivity and specificity. You can see this presentation with an AI-generated pitch at luventix.com. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was a great pitch. Any questions from the panel?
Can you tell us more about how many customers do you have, what's your customer acquisition cost, and what's your sales?
No customers, pre-sales. We have done all the science and the laboratory work to demonstrate the viability of the technology. We'll be raising money, on the process of raising money to launch the product to the market, again, direct to consumer.
Okay.
Daniel, I'd like to stay in touch with Dejan.
Certainly.
Okay, we will connect you. Thank you.
Okay.
More questions?
If no more questions, we'll move on with Bob Whitco.
Hi, thanks for letting me pitch today. I'm Bob Whitco, founder and CEO of Amet Surgical. We're a Delaware corporation founded about 2 years ago. Most of our operations are in Israel, the startup nation. I'm a dual citizen. Our headquarters is in Denver, Colorado. Met Surgical solves a 75-year-old problem that has frustrated cancer surgeons and pathologists and kept them from truly collaborating. I'm a cancer survivor. When I was treated 15 years ago, it was very clear to me that the surgeons and the pathologists they work with are very rarely on the same page. I dove into this. This 75-year-old technique allows the pathologist to tell the surgeon, hey, you didn't get all the cancer, get some more, but it doesn't tell them exactly where, and that's a big problem. The surgeon does not want to go back in and cut the wrong tissue. My surgeons, pathologists use the term, hey, we're not on the same page. My aha moment when I realized they don't need to be on the same page, they need to be looking at the same map. So we have a product we named True Margin. It creates a map of the surgical site and a matching map of the tumor. In medical language, that's an in vivo, ex vivo tumor mapping system. So we're very close to completing our first component. The components are standalone, but they do work together in a system as we do our ongoing development. We'll receive our first FDA 510K clearance in 3 months. We have 2 utility patents granted. We have half a dozen other utility patents filed. I have a strong IP background. I view IP here as being very critical. We have a castle on a hill with big walls and a moat full of alligators that I think will protect us well. 3 hospitals, including Sheba Medical Center near Tel Aviv. That's the number 10 ranked hospital in the world by Newsweek magazine, have committed resources to study True Margin's effectiveness in breast, pancreatic, and colorectal cancer. We're also developing a product for colonoscopies. So it's a pretty substantial market. About 200 million colonoscopies performed every year around the world, about 20 million cancer surgeries that we fit into. We're going to launch Met Surgical and True Margin in April at the American Academy of Breast Surgeons annual meeting. What else can I tell you? I put in 500K and our friends and family round brought in 300. Post-money valuation today is 3 million. Investment bankers rather, I've consulted, believe that the valuation will grow to 12 million pre-money when we receive that first 510K. We'll raise around that time. We'll raise 5 million for launch, inventories, other working capital, regulatory approval in the UK, European Union. Switzerland has gotten a little bit more expensive, so that's part of the raise as well. So thanks for the time, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, you were a little bit past time, so everyone, please try to be in 2 minutes no more. And we are so glad you survived cancer. So yeah, very glad to hear.
Hey, beats the alternative, right?
Yeah. All right. Any questions?
Any questions from the panel? Yeah.
What process of the FDA approval are you in?
So we submitted for a 510K approval using special guidance. We've received our first letter from FDA not asking for any of other information and so on. And that's why we have the confidence level that we'll receive 510K in April.
When will you receive that?
If everything works right, it'll be the 17th of April. And then there'll be a press release on the 18th of April.
So question, great presentation. Any MDs on your team?
We have a very strong medical advisory board split between the US and Israel. So we've relied on that, but we have no employees who are MDs. We also, our chairman is a retired CEO of a HCA hospital, a very large HCA hospital, still having a lot of influence and having a lot of experience to help us.
Got it. Second question. Have this device been utilized? And if so, what has been the feedback on this particular device?
So it hasn't been utilized because per the FDA, it's what's called in the investigational stage. I'll give you a couple of really quick anecdotal points. I went to J&J and to Teleflex Medical, two huge companies, to ask for strategic money and get involved. Both of them told me, quote, why didn't we invent this? The terms that they wanted to give us money on and get involved in their incubator didn't fit my model, so we passed. There's not one single doctor I've spoken to since we started this project, and that's got to be hundreds, who hasn't said, when can I get it? This is brilliant. I want it. Let's go. Not one.
Okay, so my last question, is this a particular focus, this device, on breast cancer?
Breast is the largest single cancer which is first treated by surgery. So that's the first of our target marketplaces. If we win in breast, we can take that anywhere else. We'll have credibility. We'll have traction. So breast is it's a relatively narrow segment, but a very significant strategic component of our go-to-market process. The big volume is not breast. The big volume is when we have our colonoscopy product, because that's a couple 100 million cases, procedures annually.
Yeah, so Daniil, I'm interested. I don't know where you go with this device. I don't know how long the FDA is going to try to kick your ass, but I do believe that you're a trustworthy person and you definitely know what you're doing. So I'm interested from that perspective, but the whole side of the FDA, that's a totally different beast, but I'm definitely interested.
The FDA is a black hole. And one thing I always say, I don't know what I don't know. And then I look for consultants and experts, my advisory boards. And on the FDA, real quick, we found loopholes, essentially, that we were able to design into the product to fit into FDA that guarantee us the quick approvals. And that's something that I think so many people just, they overlook, and they get in these 3 to 5 year cycles, which is, investor hell.
Okay.
We're going to go in that direction.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let's move on.
Lechizar, just 1 second. I just want to say that it seems like we also will accept it to our Pitch to Global Investors program. Just talk to Lechizar. We have very strong investors in health space, and Lechizar will help you to get on board to our platform and explain everything.
Thank you, and thanks for the feedback.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just reach out to me after the event. Okay, so next one should be Gregory Lesher. Gregory, your turn. Are you here?
Oh, thank you. I didn't think I was going to make it this time. Okay. Well, wars have been fought over what I've have my discovery in. Billions of lives have been lost. And what is that? It's water. Who will this affect? Reverse osmosis plants, multi-stage flash distillation, municipal water, and anybody basically who needs water, which is all of us. Okay, let's get on to what I discovered. What I've discovered is net zero. It has a zero carbon footprint. And what I did is I took a piece, I redesigned the dead end solar distiller. I took a 4x8 sheet of plexiglass, 1.5 dozen Lexan tubes that you would use for lighting to protect the glass from falling off the lights if it got broken, and a couple of metal trays that you would use in a buffet, and a few easy solar heaters, 3 solar panels in a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot cube like you see behind me. I managed to take a saltwater well, which is like the Great Salt Lake or the Dead Sea, and I have a constant, steady stream of flowing water coming out of distilled water from that saltwater well, as salty as the Great Salt Lake or the Dead Sea. And why did I do this? Necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention. So anyway, I'm an inventor, and that's as far as I've got with it. I've been using it, my prototype, because I need it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from our panel?
What's your go-to-market strategy with this product?
That's a good question. Everybody needs it. I've got something as basic as a few people could go out and put some in some village out in Africa where they're drinking out of open wells or rivers, and provide something about for less than $1,000. It's about 40 foot by 14 foot by 3 feet high. Will put out about 20 to 30 US gallons of distilled water. All they have to do is put the water in, completely passive. Or it could be as big as a municipal. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, how, you know, all of these things I mentioned, all of them are not sustainable. They're definitely not have a zero carbon footprint. In fact, an RO plant needs a power plant to run it. This doesn't, and it's as scalable. I could make it as big as a stadium, or I could make it as small as something that you could almost put in your backpack.
Thank you.
So I just don't know where to go from here because I don't have the resources. But this is the, I had somebody who's been in the water industry for all of their lives, municipal, is a scientist who passed away now, looked under at my prototype, my very first one, and looked back at me and said, "This is the biggest discovery in water ever." He says, "And I doubt in your lifetime you're ever going to see anything bigger." So that's where I am.
I guess the next question you'll get about IPs, patents, and something, but I'll let others to ask this question.
I was actually going to just give you a suggestion, Gregory. Sounds like you are the visionary behind the product, and you need help in putting management behind it, which is actually quite common. First of all, it's great that you're trying to give water independence to underprivileged or disadvantaged communities. I think that there are a lot of water foundations that would back you up and possibly even give you enough to build a team or collaborate with you on this.
Once this technology is out there, once this technology is out there, it may be required. They may require it because the RO plants are killing the oceans. They're killing, I mean, the fish, the plants, everything. So it may be required. It might be required for mining cleanup water. So you know, it's huge. It's bigger than me. I just don't know what to do with it from here. So I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah.
Was that it for you, Angelica?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
It is copyrighted. I have copyright protection on every conceivable design.
Do you have a patent on this particular device?
Patent pending.
Patent pending. Okay, so my suggestion, it sounds as if you're definitely an inventor. It's not a company today, but in any event that you have some form of efficacy regarding the patent on this particular device, I can imagine that there can possibly be a licensing play. It's so many people attempting to solve this problem. I recently had seen a company get funded on Shark Tank with something similar. So I definitely be interested to see how far you can get regarding the patent of the device. But it's not something I can invest in today. But I would be interested to definitely keep my ear to the pulse on this.
Hey.
And in terms of where to start, I think my 2 cents on that is maybe just talk to different people, right? Like municipals or corporates or consumers. Just find out who are the ones that are really most excited about your product and who's most willing to pay for it and what their concerns are, and find a group to target and start with and focus on. I feel like that's probably
I have been, but most of them are just interested in donations, charity type donations. So anyway,
right.
Yes, I've written books on it. So everybody. I mean, they're just blown away when they see it. They can't believe this hasn't been discovered yet.
All right, thank you. One comment in here. We want to help. So we do have impact investors in our network, and I know one in Germany. There is a venture fund investing at PhDs and for people creating some impact on our planet. So reach out to Lechazar, talk to him, and maybe we will ask for more details. Maybe we will connect you. And also in our network, you might find advisors who can advise you. Just be on our chats and you may find an advisor. So you're in the right place. It's okay, you are early stage. It just here we expect that there is some business happening, but on global world, you will get helped.
Right. Yep.
Well, let's just put it this way. I took a short clip, of the out.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Just really quick.
50 seconds.
Okay, I put it on a Facebook group and within 1 hour, I got 1,700 views on that. So that's how
Fantastic.
I wanted it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have one quick comment. If that's okay. Just one minute. It's 30 seconds. But like, so you mentioned like, people wanted to give you donations, right? I guess like to your point, that might actually be a problem.
No, they want donations, not me. I'm not asking for it. Yes.
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah. I mean that might be it, right? Like
Yes.
Kind of a red flag. Maybe that kind of indicates that those are not the target customers, right? Maybe find out why, or like who else is a better fit. That's probably what I would suggest. Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, but Greg at
Okay,
Real Water
let's-
Independence. Greg at Real Water Independence.
Let's wrap up.
Contact me.
Let's
Thank you,
wrap
guys.
up because we
Thank you.
less than 20 minutes, and I think I will give the floor to Jean-Claude Arton. Jean, are you here? JC.
And guys, don't take it personal. We are trying to let everyone speak. That's why we have to interrupt. And you're doing all great jobs, but we really appreciate that.
JC, are you ready to pitch? Or
yes, absolutely. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so special buona serata, Angelica, as I'm in Switzerland too. And thanks, Daniel, for this opportunity. I'm Jean-Claude Arton, serial entrepreneur and Fortuit main founder at Delaware C Corp. The social club experience is one of the most satisfying one, as it provides you a sense of belonging and gives you chance to spend quality time with your tribe. Before Fortuit, only elites had access. Imagine kind of Uberizing this concept with more potential than Uber itself, in which your company invested, I think, Matthew. And why bigger? Because it fulfills a fundamental underserved human need, and it can reach everyone. Socialization. Try to picture a network of private lounges in all cities and an AI-powered logistical operation that can manage millions of people wondering, what am I going to do tonight? And booking their evening in seconds, like with Uber, whenever they lack or travel. So our patent pending emotional AI will provide them the final address and access QR code. When real-time sorting the groups, answering they will be with 40 like-minded people to enjoy cocktails, wonderful food, music, the AI suggested to the DG. Also, your organization, Yuan, I think, has invested in supply chain optimization and AI venture. So therefore, think about this large B2C infrastructure we are building. We will also use it for B2B micro events, commoditizing and consolidating this ultra segmented $1 trillion market like Amazon did in distribution. But beside all of that, our social mission is to fight loneliness that kills 6 million people a year, nearly as many as cancer. Therefore, we want partners who share same values and want to build a better world. Over $1 million has been funded. Our human resources SaaS branch has 1,400 customers using our emotional profiling algorithm. And our spin-off Midfluencer has successfully tested traction within influencer and the music industry this summer to create part of the critical mass we need for the Fortuit launch through micro concert. By the way, if you're interested, Duran, as you're a specialist, I'd like to discuss this seed stage spin-off, but another time. So Fortuit ask is $10 million Series A, followed by a Regulation CF and $75 million Regulation A plus this year. Next year, we expect to reach unicorn status like Clubhouse did, but with big difference, $1 billion in revenue based on a pay-per-use business model. I know it sounds big, but I'm happy to share the rationale in face-to-face meeting, and you will see. Trust me, it's not about like kind of crazy top-to-bottom approach. So thank you for your time, Sharks, and for everyone here, be yourself and make friends with Fortuit very soon.
Thank you. That was a great pitch. Any questions?
Yes.
Great pitch. So what do you have achieved with this $1 million that you raised in the previous rounds?
So we had about 20 people working as specialists. It was the first year of the COVID, and as many people, we were expecting the COVID to stop like way faster. So we laid off a part of them. And what we built is a simulation of all this exercise. It's really about in the details. So we went through a lot of risk assessments, mitigations, and etc., and a lot of researches on the biology behind loneliness, because most of the people don't understand what means loneliness and how it affects health. So that's mainly researches and the test with a mid-freelancer branch.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.
So to be fair, I'm not quite clear on the pathway of the product, but I'm definitely interested in talking offline to you, and perhaps you can help me gather a further understanding.
Yeah, it's quite complex, and at the same time, it's easy. You will see that I believe in focus group, and I'm not. It's not my first business. One of them is valued now a few $100 million. I just sold it too fast. What we need is to have a group of different companies that lever, each of them together. So that's really what we are building. And each of them is independent and can run its own way, including a foundation that we launched in Geneva with the Prince Henry Bourbon that will
it's
care
fine.
about
So
the people.
I'm already so that we can move on. I'm sold on you. It's fine. You don't have to oversell your company. We'll talk offline, and then you'll have more time to just take me
Thanks, Doran. Yeah, would be a pleasure. Would be a pleasure.
Definitely.
Other questions?
Questions?
Yeah. How long did you say it would take you to get to $1 billion revenue?
I know you will not believe it, but I can demonstrate it next year.
And what are you starting with right now?
Sorry?
How much revenue are you starting with right now?
So the revenue we have is on the B2B branch, which is with the human resources. What we need is 7 million to make a 10,000 people test in New York, because we cannot make revenue before. You cannot say to people, you will be with like-minded people if you have only 100 users. So we need to build that critical mass first. And the revenue go fast. Just to make it simple, take the business model of Clubhouse with cooptation, and even give two people sponsorship possibilities of people. The mathematics behind is exponential. So you will get with 10,000 people in New York, 1 million people a year after with that model. And why people will go? Imagine that you have access for free, and you can invite for free, to one of your best friends in that kind of place where it's all amazing. It will go fast. And just to finish on that, it's not dating, but it's on the same level of the Maslow pyramid. Dating industry is about 320 million people, who feel lonely, for sure, like active members. But the money they are making is not where is the dating. They are just matching people. The real date is in the bar, in the restaurants, where people are ready to spend the money. And that's mechanics with the numbers of people and the fact that we are selling a real service like food, beverage, and etc. So it goes rapidly on big numbers.
All right. Thank you very much. We got to move on, but what I want to say that we will probably accept you to the Pitch Global Investors Program. We'll talk to Lechazar. We probably can put you in front of your related investors. Seems interesting project, but I still don't have full answer. For me, my team need to look into your pitch in more details. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. So we have our next on the list, Ryan Stanley. Are you here, Ryan?
I sure am. Thank you for asking.
Welcome.
We ready to go?
Yes.
How are we doing? As noted, I am Ryan Stanley. Thank you so much for your time. Sharks, I appreciate your time and your attention. I'm the CEO of My5. My5 is a recently launched social networking app, a gamified social networking app. Very similar, actually, in a different way to what the previous gentleman was speaking about, where you spend your spare time on the app answering questions about yourself, fun, engaging questions about yourself and stuff you like to nerd out about. It could be, would you rather be invisible or learn how to fly? It could be, do you like to travel? Rank your top 10 movies of all time, all these different things. And then at any given point, you go to the homepage and the app will tell you who are the top 5 people who are most like you based on those questions. And then at any given point, you can click on any one of those top 5, you go onto their profile, you can actually see what your top 5 topics were that you have most in common. And if you click on any of those particular topics, you can actually see which questions you answered the same and differently. So it's an icebreaker. It's great for new college students. It's great for people who are moving. We have spent, we raised $126,000 to get it built and launched in both app stores, App Store and Google Play. And we've got power users, we've got proof of concept, and we've got beta testing done. And now we're just looking to, in 2023, So it's funny what he's saying. It's like, we've got about 500 to 600 beta testers, but now the app will actually be more improved at a 10,000 to 20,000 user model.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. We're seeking about $250,000 to $500,000 to kick this next year into gear. I'm also seeking co-founder and or mentorship. And
Okay,
actually in the chat right now, a quick.
Yep, putting your information in the chat, and we'll go now with the panel.
Are you using those questions to then deliver targeted advertisement, or how are you generating your income?
Yeah, so it's a subscription model. So the app is actually free to use. I'm really just not a fan of ads in general. I can't stand them. So this is a subscription model. Basically, it's free to use, but you are able to answer. So you get a certain amount of energy every day, meaning you get these rings. The whole app is based around the hand. So it's called My 5. Every day you get 5 rings, and you can answer 5 sets of questions. So 50 questions a day. But if let's just say I'm traveling, and you can go through them pretty quickly within 2 or 3 minutes. But if I'm traveling and I want to answer a bunch more questions, I can either A, pay for individual rings, or B, I can be a monthly subscriber. And one of those features is it's unlimited rings. So I don't need to sign up or buy new rings. There's also, with that subscription, you get an additional bit of privacy. So if I want to, let's say, answer questions about sex or marijuana or something, because I want to meet people who are a similar vibe that I am, but I don't necessarily want everybody who finds my profile or whatever comes across me to know all my answers. As a subscriber, I can make those answers private, and I could just say, hey, message me if you want to talk more.
Yeah, it just seems like you're missing a massive marketing opportunity by not using those questions as a, advertising tool.
Sure, absolutely. And yeah, and there is thank you for that. There's a forward, potentially, again, we just finished the MVP. So, but phase 2 might even have a separate section, which is almost like promoted. And so each topic is called a thumbprint. So promoted thumbprints, and it might just be questions about McDonald's, questions about whatever, and then they would go ahead and pay to have those placed there. But that's not set up as of today.
So I have a couple quick questions. One is, so you mentioned your target users are college students and etc., right? So like you to a college campus and things like that, right? So and you mentioned you have 500 beta testers so far, right? How many of them are paying right now?
Right now, we built it in a way that payment wasn't necessary. We really just wanted to get testing. So I've had short answer is none, like 2 to 3.
Okay, because yeah, I think it would be really critical to see how many of them are willing to actually pay it rather than using it, because there's a huge assumption with like how you monetize that. Like I'm thinking about are the college students willing to pay money to make friends, or like can they just go to a party or something, right? So, and there are also a lot of other like anonymous apps like YCAC or like Fizz or like Librex, I'm not proud to admit that I was really obsessed with them when I was a student, right? So but they have a lot of them face challenges with monetizing, right? Things like that. They experiment with different models and they failed eventually because those things just don't really quite work, right? So the question is, you really want to make sure that how you're validating that these are the customers that are willing to pay these things. Maybe there's a better target there.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also with these apps on college campuses, I think you could easily get a lot of tons of users, the students who use it really easily for free. You could get thousands, and you could get into campus really quick, But so the question still comes to I think getting 500 is not really that difficult, but the question is really more about how you're going around that.
Yeah, and the other piece that we've actually found through our beta is, I mentioned college as a quick example of people who are new and looking for people. What we've really found is there are particular niche audiences, and I'll use Star Wars as an example. Somebody who's a super Star Wars nerd, and I say that word with affection, loves everything about Star Wars and wants to answer questions about Star Wars, and would go in there, and not only can they answer all the questions about Star Wars, but they can submit their own. So if I'm I'm really into the details, and I know what happened in between episodes 2 and 3 based on the comic books that I've read about Star Wars, I'm going to ask those detailed, cool questions. And when I find people who I've answered those as well, then I'm like, okay, this person is like me. That person is like me. If I go to a Comic-Con and I could say, who are the top 5 people most like me at this Comic-Con? While I'm there, who's the top 5 people within a 1 mile radius? Those people are going to show up. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the band Fish. I'll make this quick, but I'm a super Fish nerd, right? And so I was able to find a bunch of people.
Please wrap up. Sorry. Sorry, please wrap up if you have anything. No.
Yeah, really quick. So Matthew, do you see, because I downloaded the app, I'm not quite extrapolating the actual hook, because for these things to work, there has to be some hook, the reason why someone's going to return. Then you have cohort analysis, you have to cluster your network. Like growing these things out is very, very complicated and methodical, notwithstanding your ability to do so. Do you think that the strategy probably would be for this to be built on Snapchat's API? Because to the point that Juan was making, apps like Let Me Know, Make New Friends is built on Snapchat's API, where they can tap directly into the distribution of Snapchat. And if there's a future for you to extrapolate your own app out of that, then so be it. But have you all considered that?
I have to apologize that the dog was barking pretty loud during the first part of your response. But as far as utilizing other people's API or putting our app within others, I haven't considered as much as I'm open to it. So this is I'm a lifelong kind of serial entrepreneur, and this is my first endeavor into the tech space. So
yeah. So quick suggestion. And I'm glad that you're open-minded about that. That may be ideal, given the fact that you can definitely tap into Snapchat's API. There are some scenarios by which you build this mousetrap, and it's sufficient. It can position you for an acquisition from Snapchat. Snapchat have acquired a lot of those companies that built on top of their API. I'm not sure you want to work for Snapchat, but the fact of the matter is you can definitely have an ecosystem that understands these apps. They can log directly in via Snapchat. On the front end, it sucks because you don't get the data directly to you, but ultimately it can provide some efficiency, because I see an era where a lot of these micro apps, community-based micro apps, can exist, but I'm not sure that they can exist outside of the confines of the bigger social platforms. So perhaps you can tool with that strategy and see how the outcome.
Sure, yeah, I appreciate that. The other piece now is that it actually is gamified too, so it's fun to do. The more questions you answer, you actually earn badges. You earn what's called high fives. You earn, in-app currency, so you can purchase other questions. There is a dopamine hit when you hit submit after I answer 10 questions. Now all of a sudden my top 5 has changed. I answer 10 more, now all of a sudden my top 5 has changed again. And the last thing I'll just say is you can also favorite a certain group of questions. And then now not only am I seeing everybody who's most likely, but now I'm seeing people who are most like me just in the stuff that I'm actually passionate about. So it does, dive down to the individual.
Okay,
So
yeah, let's move.
Feedback.
Thank you very much. We have one more person who will pitch, and then we will finish our event for this week. And the people that haven't pitched will have this ability for our next one. So feel free to reach us out at info@goglobal.world, so we can put you on priority next time. And we're gonna move to Dana Small. Dana, are you here? Are you ready?
Yes. So nice to meet you. How's everybody?
Nice to meet you too.
So my name is Dana Small. I'm the founder of Small World, Home of the Dreamers. That's what we call our employees here. Basically, I run a social media management agency. And a little bit about me is that I started this when I was in college. At the time, I was like waitressing, bartending, so on and so forth. And I was majoring in marketing. And I kind of just like tripped and fell into the social media marketing world. Once I combined my marketing experience with my modeling experience, I kind of just like combined the both when it came to my business. So I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. And in those 2 years, we've worked with various startups around the United States. We've worked with people in New York, Hawaii, Florida, so on and so forth. And we've also worked with Fortune 500 companies. We just did one with Discover back in December. So that's basically what we do. We offer different packages depending on what different startups and different companies need. And we basically just use a combination of trends and SEOs in order to expand their reach and their platform as far as they can to their targeted audiences. So thank you.
Thank
you very much.
So how much money are you trying to raise right now?
I would say 400.
400,000, and at what valuation?
I value so far in the past like 2 years. We're a little bit under 2 years old now. So far we've been able to make about 5K. But for the majority of that, I was in school. So for the most part, I've been using my money to fund it, and then I made everything that I used to fund it back. So I'm anticipating, just because the social media industry in 2023 is projected to be at about, I think, 4.68 billion. Just because we are still in the startup industry, the startup stage, we might take a little bit longer, but I think that our valuation for 2023, if I continue on the kind of like projectile that I'm on, I think we can definitely hit like we can hit a 6-figure year. I would say probably like 1K for now. But for right now, what we're doing is we're investing. So what I would use it primarily for is like for my salary, for salaries of my employees, and then for kind of like more equipment for the social media field.
Dana, I like the fact that you're so young, you're out there, you're doing something cool. I try to help young female entrepreneurs. Get in touch with me. We need to work on your numbers. We need to work on your ask. We need to work on your presentation skills. I want you to stay nice and straight and looking straight at face in the eye instead of going all the way there. So I want to work with you, but you need to do that.
Sorry, this is like my second pitch competition, but thank you.
All right.
I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, so same here. I can't promise this because obviously I don't speak for my wife, but my wife is a partner in M&D Ventures. The M is for Maya, my wife's name. And to Angelica's point, I would like to connect you with my wife. She's watching now. She's not able to join on stage. And so for some form of mentorship in some capacity, because again, I love to see young entrepreneurs. So I'll offer a soft offer, same what Angelica offered, and then I'll confirm with my wife, but I'll get you all connected via LinkedIn.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So everyone, you did a great job today, and I'm so excited that we finished this day. I'm really grateful for your pitches and grateful for all these challenges to our investors that you guys created for these startups, because this is how you entrepreneurs learning. We all learn like this, with honest feedback, straightforward into your face. This is the reality, and this is the opportunity to build global businesses. So let's jump right into the final step, and one by one, please give feedback on what you have on your mind, dear investors, and we will close with your final statements. So let's start with Matthew, and then Angelica, and one by one, except me.
Yeah, I think it was a great job, everybody presenting, and you got a lot of strong companies here. You know, it's a great first step for a lot of you, and for some of you, it's just another, journey on the fundraising journey. So, good job to everybody.
Thank you so much for your recommendations. Angelica.
Same thing here. I think that today, as compared to the other times, we managed to squeeze in 14 companies. The other times we got to 17, but quality is more important than quantity. Everybody had really interesting feedback to give. So thank you to all my fellow panelists. Thank you for all the ideas presented. I think that every pitch you make is one step further to that perfect pitch. So keep trying, keep talking to us. Just understand that we want you to be successful, because this is what we do as investors. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Angelica. We're excited to have you too. Duran, your turn.
Yeah, first, thanks to the esteemed panelists. A lot of great feedback to the entrepreneurs. Also, Lax for the moderation, and Danielle for definitely bringing this platform through GGW. I would say to the entrepreneurs, don't think an overexertion of time towards your pitch is going to sell us more as investors. Like, definitely stay to the time, because the longer that you're pitching, we don't know your idea, and simplify it. I had this problem. I'm still an active founder and a venture capitalist, so I sit on both sides of the ledger. I had this problem starting out. I wanted the investors to know everything, like 10 years ago, and try to communicate everything. And I learned over time, Steve Jobs is correct. Like, just keep it super simple. Even if you're attempting to cure cancer. Like, listen, my family died from cancer. We built the machine. We believe this machine is going to help the surgeons be able to provide more efficiency. Here's how we make money. We haven't done this yet, and this is where we think we're going to go. Any questions, investor? When you leave us that option to get to asking you questions faster, you're going to be able to explain your business more during the Q&A stage. So you don't get lost in the pitch and utilizing so much jargon. Juan was talking about this and just taking us all over the shop, because we're human just like you. And then we can tune out very fast. So definitely stay to that time. I'm not following the rule here because I'm talking too much already, but definitely stay to that time and make it as succinct as possible. And trust me, during the Q&A, if it leaves us more time for such, you'll get to be able to go deeper on your business. But great job, entrepreneurs, for sure.
Thank you, Duran. Really appreciate this feedback. Yuan, your turn.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure. Really appreciate the opportunity to come back and see a lot of great companies and founders. Again, I feel like I especially appreciate that we got to take some more time to go through every founder today and get to ask them more questions. I definitely appreciate your patience. I think one of the things I see is a lot of people tend to focus on what they're doing and how what exactly the thing they're building, but tend to forget about who their customers are, right? And why you're building it, and what is the user really going through, when they're using your app, right? So I feel like whether some people might not have figured that out, they're still figuring out who the customers are, and some other people know, but maybe just didn't get it crisp enough. But my question always is who's your customer? How old are they? What's the gender? What's their profession? What mood are they in? What are they thinking when they're using your app, right? What's the journey, right? So I feel like having that image, having that vision very clear could be very helpful for both building your business and also telling your story with the investors on the audience.
What a panel of investors we have today. It's amazing advice, and they're not only willing to invest, but they are willing to help. And this feedback is amazing. Thank you for your participation. Everyone, remember, this is a weekly event, and every Thursday we run this event. Only second Friday of the month is Friday. The rest is always Thursday. You'll find it on LinkedIn at this event and on our website. Just sign up, very simple. You don't have to pay us. If you want to help, this is why Global World exists. But before we go, I want to thank Lachizar, the guy who actually behind the things and does a lot of work. You can't even know how much work he's doing, because this is a lot of things. And Zoom is not perfect to make it looking organized. Just a lot of things not work, to be very clear with that. Zoom is the worst, but there is nothing better, And Lachizar will be in touch with you. So you guys get in touch with him to get onto our platform, to get into our community, get connected with investors, with anyone. So he's the guy. And especially if you want to participate in our pitch program, the other one, Pitch to Global Investors. And I invite everyone to join our app, Pitch to Global, matching app. That was the link I just posted, and I'm going to post it right now. This is your opportunity to match with investors. I invite investors as well to join, and everyone who is here, you will get free access for a few months. You will be verified, and then you'll get an access. It's like Tinder, left and right, and there is a perfect match. That's it. Thank you so much. Lachizar, do you have a few words to say before I close it?
I just wanted to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn or via my email. I just posted it, and we will continue the conversation. That's it. Thank you.
And on my end, I just so grateful that this event is so popular. I'm thanking everyone, and I look forward to see you all next week and next week and next week. Take care and see you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.